Okay, good morning everyone. Agun Chodesh Cheshvan, the month of the inauguration of the third Beis HaMikdash. Chodesh Cheshvan. Last night we were Mesayim Mesaches Ksubas. We were learning for more than 2 years. This coming Monday, this is a special announcement for those who learn Mishnah Berurah Daf HaShavua. Once you're doing Mishnah Berurah Daf HaShavua, why don't you do Gemara Daf HaShavua also? Masechta Nedarim begins Monday night. Now, this Monday night, we're going to be doing 2 Amudim, just to be able to stay on schedule for the upcoming, but Monday night we begin. It's usually Monday and Tuesday. When I say usually means sometimes, you know. Okay, we're continuing in Mishnah Berurah Daf HaShavua, Siman Kuf Ches, Sif Ches. Mi shelo yispalel ba'oid sheyesh lo zman l'sam neshes of shadayin yishar lo zman achar sheyigmar oisei esek shemasasik by someone who didn't daven when he had time to daven. And the reason he didn't daven is because he thought first he's just going to water his lawn, and after he finishes watering his lawn he'll have plenty of time to daven mincha. Ubein kach avra lo yasha. In the meantime, time passed. He didn't realize how long it would take to water every single blade of grass. Basically, the guy was not a mazid. We saw in Sibzayin, if you were a mazid, there's no tashlumin. Now you could daven a tfilas nadava. And Rav Chaim Kanievsky said even bizman hazeh you could daven a nadava. But, let's say somebody made somewhat of an innocent mistake. He thought he would have time. Now he shouldn't have made that cheshbon. He should have davened right away. Someone who is busy for money. So he doesn't come to a loss. And by doing so, he would lose out from davening. This happens all the time. No, not to anyone I know, but maybe to some people. Someone who is drunk, and he didn't daven. They're all considered extenuating circumstances. And we do allow them to make it up. Nevertheless, even though, let's say for Hefsid Mammon, you could delay davening, let's say like this, a client comes, and if you don't speak to this client, you could lose $10,000. So then, and there's still time to daven mincha. So if somebody delayed and ended up not davening because of that client, he's considered an oines. However, l'chadchila, you should not allow this man to pass for hefsed mam. It says Mishnah Oisa Esek, v'afil ma'isek kumei adram and iskam b'sin reish al beish l'isser mishigia zman tefilla. Even if the thing you're involved in is something you were not allowed to do. I mean, we're saying that even though there's no tashlumim for hazed, if you're an oines, there is tashlumim. So you might think, how could you call an oines somebody who got involved in activity that Chazal do not let them get involved in? Nevertheless, he did it. He's not considered mazid. He did it, sort of speak, innocently. He didn't do it flagrantly. He didn't do it intentionally. Like the guy yesterday, he said, my team didn't win the World Series, that's it, I'm not davening. That guy is a mazid. This guy, he has to make money. He shouldn't have, or he wanted to water his grass. He thought he would have time. He shouldn't have done it, but he's not doing it b'shat nefesh. And then he forgot. What about a guy who's sitting on his couch and, I'm so tired, right? Because the more people sleep, the more tired they get. So the more they rest, the more tired they are. So they're sitting on the couch. He's reading one of these magazines, wasting his time. And he says, you know what, I'll daven mincha later. Let me just look at another ad for a shot that helps you lose weight, And then the guy looks at another ad for a cake that you could eat, that you could gain it all back in one achila. Right? He's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he was an otzel. And then he forgot. Says the Aruch HaShulchan, he can make it up. That's also not b'shat nefesh. But the Chassam Sofer writes, can't make it up. If the reason you didn't daven, you're not watering your grass. You're not busy. You're just lazy. Ein lo tashlumin. So that's an interesting machloikes, whether laziness is considered oines or b'shat nefesh. Chassam Sofer says b'shat nefesh. Sivkatan Chav Daled. someone who is tarod for money, so he doesn't come to a hefsid. Or let's say it wasn't a hefsid, but he was tarod, buying and selling, that maybe he could have made money. Oh wow, we're going to have mamish davar yafa b'iter. Watch this. Ta v'lo yisval mincha be'erev Shabbos. Let's say you made a mistake and you didn't have a mincha erev Shabbos. So what do? Mispala arv shtayim, you daven marav twice. The thing is, you have to make up a weekday tefillah, but you can't daven a weekday tefillah on Shabbos. So what do? Mispala arv shtayim shel Shabbos, you daven 2 maravs, 2 ata kidashta. So rishayna la'arvis, the first one for marav, that which is a chiyuv, va'ashniya l'tashlumin, the second one for tashlumin. Hagavu adinim loisal mincha be'erev rosh chodesh. Let's say you didn't daven mincha erev rosh chodesh, mispalo shel rosh chodesh shtayim, and you're going to say yalav yava in both. V'im lo hisker yalav yava b'rishayna. Let's say you didn't say yalav yava in the first one, which is the chiyuv. V'hisker b'shniya, you have to go back and daven tzarich lachzor spalal. Aval, im lo hisker b'shem, if you didn't say it in either of them, meaning the first guy, he didn't mention it in the first, in Mariv, and he mentioned in the second one, he has to go back. Why? Because he's being megala that the first one was for tashlumin, but the first one can't be letashlumin. I would have said, no, why is he megala that? Maybe he was saying it as a chiyuv and he forgot. But we'll see. But if he did avalim lo hisker b'shtem, if he didn't mention in either, or hisker b'rishon, we mentioned in the first, v'lo b'shniya, ein tzarich lachzar. Says the Mishnah Berurah, we'll just see one Mishnah Berurah today, shel Shabbos. So you missed mincha erev Shabbos, you have to daven mariv twice of Shabbos. Afagav sheba l'tashlumin shel chayil, even though it's coming for a makeup of a weekday. Mikal makom kivan she'achshavu Shabbos, since now Shabbos mispala oisa gam kein shel Shabbos. You daven a Shabbos tefillah. What if you missed davening Friday night and you have to make it up Shabbos morning? What do you daven? So says the Aruch HaShulchan, you say Yismach Moshe. And let's say you miss Shachris and you make a Mimcha, you say in both Ata Echad. What if Shabbos morning you said Ata Kidashta to make up for Mariv, or by Mincha you said Yismach Moshe? Aruch HaShulchan says you're Yotzeh. What if you made a mistake, and by Shachris you said Ata Kidasha for the first one, and the second one Yismach Moshe? You're not Yotzei, because you're Megala, you're davening the Tashlumin first, and you can't daven the Tashlumin first. The Kavachaim says you're Yotzei. The Eishel Avram, whose yahrzeit was yesterday, says it's a Tzarachian. I would say you're Yotzei. Why? Because even though you're Megala, I'm not sure. Even though you're megala that you're davening tashlumin first, but lemaisa, if let's say you daven Friday night and you said Yismach Moshe, are you yotzei with Yismach Moshe Friday night? Let's say you guy daven Yismach Moshe Friday night, or you daven Ata Kidashta Shabbos day. I think you would be yotzei. Okay, the Mishnah Berurah continues. Ve'im hiktim bazeh. Okay, v'im ta v'espala hashniya shel chol pater milespala. Let's say you miss mincha, you daven the Friday night marav, and then you daven the avacha dika shmona esrei, a weekday shmona esrei to make up for mincha. You're pater from davening. Why? Because I think the idea is really on Shabbos we would have davened the full weekday shmona esrei. Just mishum tercha de tzibura we don't. So if instead of davening a Shabbos Shemana Esrei to make up for Mincha, you daven the weekday Shemana Esrei, you'll be Yotzei. What if Rosh Chodesh comes out on Erev Shabbos, and at night, when you're davening the second Tefillah, Shel Choyel, you didn't say Yalav Yavai? So you say Miman of Shach. if you're making up the weekday one was Rosh Chodesh. And if you're saying now is Shabbos, no, you would be Yotzei. Now, again, so this guy, back in the Mishnah Berurah, he missed Mincha Friday afternoon, and he davened the second Tefilla Shel Chol, he's Yotzei. V'im hiktim b'zeh Shel Chol Shel Shabbos, if first you davened the Mincha weekday, and then you daven the Friday night, the Shabbos Marev, lo yatzu kol yama, because you're showing you're davening the Tashlumin first, which you can't do. Shahari nikar shehiktim at Tashlumim. Even though, by the way, we did have that no, okay. Achim adayim hayom gadol. Let's say like this. It's during the day. Ela shekibel Shabbos b'mizmar shir. The guy was makabel Shabbos b'mizmar shir, but it's still day. Oy bebarchu. And he didn't daven mincha. V'lo yisfal dayin mincha. D'mavar lekamas and reis gimel siv tesvav. That you don't daven mincha, but you daven marav twice. D'yisfal arba shtayim. So lechatchila tzarich l'spal shtayim shel Shabbos. Lechatchila you have to daven both of them of Shabbos. V'harishayna l'shem arbas, and the first one for marav, ashniya l'shem tashlumei mincha, and the second one for mincha. But ubediyaved in mispalo rishayna l'shem mincha bediyaved, if you daven the first one for mincha, va'afilu in mispalo l'oisa shel chol, even if you daven the weekday, efshar diyatza, why? Hava adayin yomhu, since it's still day. By the way, just like we had that if somebody did not say Yalav Yavai in the first Shemona Esrei, so he was not Mekabel Rosh Chodesh, then the halacha would be he would not have to go back. We had yesterday, let's say it's Rosh Chodesh. Let's see the case in Zion. Let's say a person was mazed and he didn't daven a tefillah. He can't make it up. He could daven it as a tefillas nadava. But if it's Rosh Chodesh, remember this scenario, someone who came to shul, it's samach la'arvis, he davened mariv mi ba'od yom, and he didn't daven mincha. So he didn't do the right thing because he should have davened mincha first and then davened, but that's not called hazid. That's not called hazid because the zman mincha did not pass. And even if you're going to say that you can't daven mincha because he already made it night b'marev, but so he'll daven Marav twice, and the second one will be a makeup. But if it's Rosh Chodesh, remember this? If it's Rosh Chodesh, he should say Yalav Yavai in the second one, because he was Makabel Rosh Chodesh by saying Yalav Yavai. But if he didn't say Yalav Yavai in the Marav, he forgot it, he should not say Yalav Yavai in his makeup, since it's still day. So here also, if he davened the first one, l'shem mincha, even if he's mispalel as a weekday mincha, it could be your yotzei. Even though he was makabel Shabbos. Here he was makabel Shabbos. In the previous case, he was not makabel Rosh Chodesh. In this case, he was makabel Shabbos. But if it's still day, if he davened the first tefillah shel chol, efshar diyatza, because it's still day. Rabbi Isai, have a great Shabbos, and don't forget to daven mincha, and don't forget to say Al V'Yavai mincha. Shabbos. We'll see everybody Monday. Bezos Hashem. Kol tov.
Can I ask a random question?
Yeah.